But let's track a little bit about and see what's going on with the NFC West. The NFC West has been an interesting one so far. Once again, it would seem we cannot get around it. There's no way to avoid it. We're going to be the best division in football once again.
Enough said.
Sometimes I wish it wasn't the case. Sometimes I wish I had the feast factor, that New England Patriot feast factor, where you just get beat up on 3 weaklings 6 times a year, moonwalk your way into the first round bye. But we don't get that out west. That's not what we do out west. It's like, Black Panther, we don't do that out here. You got the whole division undefeated except for us here through the first 2 weeks of the football season. The Niners, the Cardinals, the Rams are getting the job done. Everybody with a plus differential through the first 2 weeks of the season. If you were hoping the pathway would be a little bit easier this year, it is not. For those of you that wondered, could we possibly have maybe a division where 4 teams could get to the playoffs this year in the NFC? I mean, maybe. But very impressive all around the board on some of these games too when you dive into them. Now look, you've got teams that haven't always had the toughest test out the gate. Cardinals have had a pretty easy schedule. The Carolina Panther game, that's not the toughest matchup for them. They were set up well in week 1 in addition to this. So, they've been able to take advantage of that. They're going to get a tougher test this week against the Niners. The Cardinals are getting the job done. They jumped out in front of that Panther team last week, like 27-3 or something. And the Carolina was able to kind of bring it back. But Cardinals were very impressive in that game, took care of business, and they don't even really feel like they have everything rolling. Now, I worried about the Cardinals and the cornerback situation to start out the year. Variety of cornerback injuries this past week with already a pretty devastated positional group right there. And it may hold them back this upcoming week in a real major way, especially losing their dynamic slot corner, as it would seem like both Will Johnson and Williams will be out for them this week. But a good all-around game for them in what they did. Trey McBride is just continuing to be awesome to start this year out. That pass rush of the Cardinals has come alive like they hoped it would with all of that investment that they put into it. Calais Campbell, I don't know how he is still getting done what he's done, and we'll see if he can pull it off for a whole year, but he was dynamic in that game throughout the whole entire game. But the Cardinals, they look good. They're doing it. I'm not sold completely yet on Kyler Murray. We'll see with him on that part, but they've got some other parts of that team that are working and rolling and doing good. Los Angeles Rams handled a tough Texans team at home in week 1 in what was really a slog kind of game. That's a good team, I think, in the Texans that they did beat. Came back this next week, went on the road against the Titans. Similar to the Cardinals, kind of got up on them and then sort of let the team back into the game. Cam Ward made some miracle throws here and there through the course of the game a bit, but did really feel like overall the Rams kind of mostly had the game in control. They didn't, win it by a blowout or anything like that, but they just, did seem to have it. The Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams combination has been really nice. They've been able to work that well. Stafford doesn't look like he's impinged by the back at all, that there's anything that's problematic there. They are struggling to find a little bit of consistency and run the ball here early on, but they did last year too on that side of it. And if you got the playmakers to throw the outside that they do right now, that's not as much of a problem or issue. Byron Young for them off the edge. Everyone talks about Jared Verse, but Young coming into a contract year is playing really well for them. Got a couple sacks in that game, and they are off to the 2-0 start as well. Niners, you know what they did in week 1. Week 2 against the Saints team that we are going to play was a very interesting game to watch, both from a scouting perspective of looking at what the Saints are going to do and then also how the Niners played it. Fred Warner is just an amazing player in the middle on that defense. You saw it week 1 and how he played us when he was out of the game and what we were able to do, but also in the Saints game, just all over the place. Everywhere, just making play after play after play after play. And the Niners down players, Mac Jones coming in there to be the quarterback in this game. And they were able to go out and throw for like 279 yards, 3 touchdowns for Mac, got on top of that team. Have used same thing with all these teams here. Is not only they're out there getting 2-0 here, but they're getting in these games, all 3 of these teams in our division, and they're controlling these games, They're getting up on teams and kind of taking control in that way, and it does stand out. And they did so in the Saints. Saints were able to mount that kind of comeback. Did the Niners take a little bit of their foot off the pedal throughout the game? Maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit slightly in that one, but credit to the Niners. They played really well. Michael Williams was a monster in the run a little bit more. He had a struggle with us in week 1, but he really came back week 2, gave him some pass rush there. Collins gave him some pass rush out there. The kid that they got playing in the linebacker position for Dre Greenlaw, was it Winters, I think it is. He's playing really well too as well. So he's holding it down for them on that side of it. Very impressive win for the Niners. Going on the road, 10 a.m. Mac Jones, no Brock Purdy, no George Kittle. Juwan Jennings kind of gutting through a kind of lower leg injury and what he's doing, and they were able to go find a W. So Niners still not yet going anywhere, unfortunately, as they start out 2-0. But again, big time matchup coming up this weekend between the 49ers and the Cardinals, which will hopefully give us a little bit of clarity on what's what we got some work to do. Good thing we got that win, man. Starting out 0-2 in this particular division this year is, you got any hopes to win the division would, maybe be a potential sinking item for our Seahawks here if we were not able to go get that dub, if we had any kind of those high hopes, going on that we could kind of pull through.